Tonight, first on the scene.
I yelled out, get at least 4 ambulances.
Witness accounts from a serious crash south of St. Thomas. Plus, the field is set. Details on the final candidates putting their names on the ballot for October's municipal elections. And the Rice Lake Challenge.
I want to help out in some way. If I don't start doing it now, then I'm getting older, I won't be able to do it.
A brother's campaign swimming for his fallen family members.
CTV News with Carlyle Fiset.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. We begin tonight south of St. Thomas, where a serious 3-vehicle collision sent 5 people to hospital last night with life-threatening injuries. Witnesses described a chaotic scene, including multiple children among the injured. And as Jerry Dewan reports, neighbors believe new safety measures are needed at the intersection in question.
It was a devastating crash at Fairview and John Wise, and is often the case with collisions at this location. Steve and Carolyn Plant were the first to come to the aid of victims.
When I was in the vehicle with the children type of thing, I yelled out, get at least 4 ambulances.
Collisions at this intersection are so frequent, the Plants maintain their own emergency response bag with safety gloves, reflective vests, and clean absorbent cloths. They've developed a system where Carolyn calls 911 and Steve relays information.
I get to the scene as fast as I can, and I use my hands to tell my wife how many people are injured
or trapped.
The Plants built their house on the southeast corner of the intersection in 1987. Carolyn spent her childhood on the family farm here. Collisions have become increasingly more frequent and more violent. They say there have been 3 serious crashes this month alone. On one occasion, the Plants had a vehicle leave the road and roll multiple times onto their property towards their home. There are currently rumble strips on John Wise, a warning that a stop is ahead, and flashing lights above the intersection. But they say in most cases, those warnings simply don't register with drivers, with vehicles simply blowing the stop sign. They believe it's time Elgin County stepped up safety measures.
Like stoplights, if people are paying attention, they'll work. If not, the other option is a roundabout, because they have to slow down to do the roundabout.
A roundabout is the preferred option for the Plants, and they say now is the time to do it before other residential and commercial developments move in. In the meantime, they say they won't stop helping those involved in collisions at the intersection.
If we were ever in that situation, we'd want someone there to
hold my hand.
Hold our hands.
Still, they admit it takes a toll. An emotional Steve says he's been offered victim services support on other occasions, but after Thursday's crash, he feels it may help.
CP officer spoke to me last night, and he suggested it. It was being suggested before, but it's...
You see things you don't want to see.
Jerry Dewan, CTV News.
Good evening, I'm Lauren Stallone. Temperatures across the region comfortable right now, but unfortunately those won't be sticking around for long as cloud coverage will start to increase overnight tonight into tomorrow. We could see some widespread showers and a risk of thunderstorms overnight into your Saturday. Saturday looks wet and unsettled as this cold front sweeps through the region, bringing with it a risk of thunderstorms in the afternoon, gusty winds, and heavy rainfall. Following that front, we'll see temperatures start to drop down below normal before dry conditions return on Monday. I'll break it all down for you in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Lauren. The deadline has now passed for candidates throwing their name in the mix for October's municipal elections. With more on the last-minute additions, here's Daryl Newcomb.
Just 2 hours before the deadline, several candidates were at City Hall ensuring their names make it on the ballot for this fall's municipal election.
The main issue for me is like the vacant housing in Ward 13 and how it's not being used properly. And I think that instead we should be building more low-income housing.
There's very few candidates that they are running for Ward 8. And the Ward 8 deserve a lot.
Hoping that they still want to vote for me because they signed my nomination. So I'm definitely up for the fight because we need some change in the East End.
The nomination period began on May 1st. The last-minute candidates with a variety of reasons for filing papers on the final day.
I just want to make sure that I'm making the right decision. Then choosing the ward was another big decision.
I kind of put off getting signatures until last minute. I just got my last one today, actually.
The final candidate to file, former city councillor Denise Brown, looking to regain the Ward 11 seat she lost in 2014.
Last but not least, I've been thinking about it for quite a few months now, but it was really yesterday that I made the final decision.
Brown says a number of pressing issues in the city convinced her to re-enter politics.
The homelessness, for example, the open drug use downtown especially, property taxes, how they keep on going up, and the spending, and the roads and infrastructure.
Late last year, council approved a substantial pay increase for the 14 councillors that'll be elected this fall, hoping that they'll view this as a full-time position. But the pay hike didn't result in a surge of additional candidates for those 14 seats. Just a modest increase from 61 in 2022 to a total of 69 this year. And just minutes into her campaign, Brown already announced a bold position on the pay hike.
If I am elected, that 35% wage increase they gave themselves, that's going to go back to local charities, my share of it.
A full list of candidates can be found on the City of London website. Election Day is October 26th. Daryl Newcomb, CTV News.
Meanwhile, in Sarnia, incumbent Mayor Mike Bradley will run again in October. Bradley has occupied the mayor's office in Sarnia since 1988, the second longest serving mayor in Ontario. He waited until the last day to file his nomination paperwork, and he'll be running against Bill Dennis, Scott Molson, Kerry McEachran, and George Stanko. Officials with the Blue Water School Board say they've reached an agreement in principle with bus operators. School board officials say normal student transportation will resume in September. Parents had been warned earlier this week about potential disruptions, which could have impacted close to 16,000 students. School bus company officials had said there would have been service interruptions without a deal reached by today. A mosquito trap in London has tested positive for West Nile virus. According to Middlesex London Health Unit officials, it's the first sign of the virus this year located in the city's West End. Public health officials recommend using DEET-based bug spray and removing standing water to reduce the chance of spread. Home dialysis support is expanding across our region through a partnership between London Hospitals and Owen Sound. As Scott Miller reports, it's now arrived in Grey Bruce, saving patients hours of driving time.
Marg and Bob Funston are preparing for Bob's home dialysis treatment. As a team, they cycle and clean Bob's blood 3 times a week from the comfort of their own home.
In the beginning, it was a bit scary, and those alarms, you had to learn not to panic when the alarm goes off.
The Funstons took on the challenge of learning to perform home hemodialysis in their Southampton home, over heading to dialysis clinics in Owen Sound and London. They say they did so because they could set their own schedule and not be told when they had to receive treatment. Travel was also a very key consideration.
Some of the benefits of wanting to do it at home was the disadvantage of not doing it at home. We found that traveling up here in the winter, having to go to Owen Sound in the winter isn't always feasible or practical.
In a clinic, they tell you when to come, and that's when you need to be there. So the idea that we could have some flexibility was very appealing.
Now, it took 8 weeks of training to learn the ins and outs of home hemodialysis. Up until now, everyone doing that training through the London Health Sciences Centre had to go to London for that training. But Bob and Marg were the first to do some of that training in Owen Sound, saving them an immense amount of driving time.
That saved us 12 hours a week in travel time alone.
The unique partnership is the first of its kind for LHSC and Bright Shores Health System in Owen Sound.
To have this as an option in our community to take some of that travel burden away and to feel comfort of training within their own community really allows for a more, I want to say a more fruitful experience, but it just makes it a lot more comfortable for them.
Since starting in May, Bob and Marg are nearing 100 home dialysis treatments to manage Bob's kidney failure. They say it's not for everyone, but they've enjoyed the flexibility and lack of driving and very much appreciated doing their training, at least partly, in nearby Owen Sound.
They deliver our supplies right here. We have a technician who comes in once a month to check the system, and we just find that it's real handy being able to do it at home.
Oh, it is a big deal. It's huge. In rural Ontario, it's huge, and particularly up here in snow country, it is amazing.
In Southampton, Scott Miller, CTV News.
The Airshow London Skydrive is underway. For more on this year's event, we head to London International Airport and join Julie Atchison.
Thank you so much, Carlyle. The air show is underway. Speed, precision, power, they have it all. The hot ramp, the static displays, and of course, the drive-through. This is one you don't want to miss. The Hour of Power is tonight, and of course, so many amazing aircraft in the city for the weekend. Hundreds and hundreds of volunteers it takes to put this together. There's also a charitable component. Holly Doty joins us. She's the executive director of the Air Show. Holly, I'm so excited for this Air Show.
I'm so excited too.
And it's just really unbelievable that we can put on an international air show like this in our community. So kudos to you and your team. Tell us a little bit about what we can expect to see this year.
You're going to see a whole bunch of planes in the sky and on the ground. We have over 40,000 people who are heading out to the air show this year, so really looking forward to all the economic upswing we're going to have in our community. You know, bringing all these teams from all over the world is helping us really put London on the map, and I'm just so excited for the fans and the kids and, you know, all the teams to be here and really enjoy what we can offer here from London, Ontario.
I love the educational component to this air show as well, because people get to come out, they get to go and talk to the pilots, they get to talk to the crews, and that really, I think, sparks something in people. They love air shows.
Yeah, for sure. Like, there's lots of crews out there on the static ramp, but this year, in addition, we also added a really nice land display. So there's all kinds of guys there from the Navy, from the Army. They've got all kinds of STEM, trucks, trailers, all kinds of stuff for them to be able to try out. General Dynamics has labs out there. Wow. There's a whole bunch of cool stuff that's not only air, but also land. So lots of cool things for kids to learn about.
As we roll through the weekend, notice I'm not on the weather desk tonight because I'm not doing that, but we have a perfect night for flying tonight. But as the weekend progresses, weather not looking so great. But with the drive-in experience, that really is helpful.
Yeah, you know what? Fans can be rest assured that when they come in, they still have their cars that they're able to get some reprieve from. You know, we'll make sure that fans are properly messaged about any changes that happen in the schedule. And, you know, we're still hopeful that there's going to be a great show all weekend, and not to worry, you know, we're going to take care of everyone best we can.
All right. Well, the air show is underway. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a fantastic weekend. And I'll send things back to the newsroom. SkyDrive is underway. Again, I wanted to mention, Carlyle, that the doors, everything opens. Gates. The gates. They open tomorrow at 10 a.m., both Saturday and Sunday. And it's going to be an absolutely spectacular weekend down here at the London International Airport. Back to the newsroom.
Thanks very much, Julie. A local fundraising campaign is nearing a $500,000 milestone. It was launched nearly 2 decades ago by a brother who wanted to honor his 2 siblings who died from Duchenne muscular dystrophy. With more on this year's swim, here's Nick Paparella.
70-year-old Brian Connor comes from a family with 5 kids, but unfortunately 2 of his brothers died in their teens from Duchenne muscular dystrophy.
Kevin was the oldest. He passed away in 1959 when he was 16 from Duchenne muscular dystrophy. And then my other brother, Terry, he passed away when he was almost 18 in 1975.
The years passed, but his love for his 2 older siblings never faded. And 18 years ago, he made a decision to honor his brothers and help others.
When I was thinking about my brothers when I was 52 years old, and I said to myself, you know what, I want to help out in some way. If I don't start doing it now, then I'm getting older, I won't be able to do it. So I decided to swim across Rice Lake down in Coburg, and from that area, there's 5 kilometers. And then I asked my good friend George Bennett
my kids said they didn't think I could do it. So that was the original reason for starting up. But it's been well worth it.
The Rice Lake Challenge is a 5-kilometer swim, and over the years it's grown to include a 6-kilometer walk as well as a bike around the lake. It's taking place Saturday, August 22nd, but this year there's a bit of a twist. This time around, they are completing 330 laps of the pool at the Damian Warner Fitness Center.
Oh, we're getting older, Nick, and it's just last year we spent 4.5 hours in the water, and it was cold, and it was windy, and it was wavy, and we had a few gulps of that Rice Lake water. Is not good.
We've got a lot of kilometers on us. That way, if we get tired, we can just stand up.
So far, the Rice Lake Challenge has raised more than $493,000, and they are trying to get over the $500,000 mark. If you would like to help out and donate to the Rice Lake Challenge, you can go to defeatdeschênes.ca/events and click on the link.
So it's very close to my heart, and that's why I'm doing it. But at the same time, we also have a lot of fun over the years. That's what makes it interesting.
Nick Paparella, CTV News.
A London couple have launched a new company which they say has helped salvage their marriage. They're trying to make non-alcoholic beers and cocktails more accessible, something they hope can help others the way it helped them. Lauren Stallone reports.
Kristen and Mike Norris are happily married. But it wasn't always this way.
About 8 years ago, our life fell apart.
The leading factor, alcohol.
Mike was a big drinker, and it got to the point where I left.
Having 2 young daughters to care for at the time, Mike said he knew he needed to make a change.
I came to this crossroads where I'm like, oh man, my family, this alcohol thing, like I have a chance to kind of get the help I need and kind of move forward on it.
After months of dedication, Mike and Kristen found their way back to each other.
We rebuilt our family.
Now the Norrises are using their story to help others.
I promised myself if we survived and got out of this that we would share our story to help others so that they don't feel alone like I did and we did. The journey has taken us to a business called Designated Drinks.
Featuring a variety of non-alcoholic beers, cocktails, and wines, the company is aimed at providing the social perks that come with drinking without the hangover.
I missed having a cold beer after work. I missed kind of, the Saturday night ritual of raising a cold beer with friends.
Mike and Kristen say they hope their story encourages others to reach out for help.
I think that's part of the relatable side of our story and how alcohol can become a problem behind closed doors. And there's not a lot of places that you can talk about it because it's so shameful.
They say they plan to open a zero-proof brewery in the future. Lauren Stallone, CTV News.
Still to come, the clock ticks on. No final agreement at this point, hours away from the president's updated tariff deadline. Plus, the economic impact in Canada's forestry sector, with a BC community set to lose hundreds of jobs.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We begin tonight with Ontario's latest.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVLondon.ca, your home for news.
Welcome back. Another day of tense negotiations in Washington ahead of the delayed tariff deadline from President Donald Trump. If there's no deal, those 50% duties will go into effect just after midnight tonight. With the latest, here's Vashi Kapelos.
Well, there are a couple of really important things from a political perspective I think we can take from what's unfolded over the past few days, even the past few hours. The very fact that the Canadian negotiating team has been engaged as long as it has with their counterparts in the United States, even since the extension of the 338 tariffs, tells you there's actually a lot left to negotiate. Despite the framing from the U.S. president as, almost a fait accompli, those details are really salient. I'm going to tell you why using one example, the steel sector, right? So baseline tariffs, we understand from our reporting and others, will go from 50% to 25%. But the U.S. intention is to impose a quota. So Steel under that quota will get 25%, but over the quota will be subject again to more punishing tariffs. So what is that quota? That's what's being negotiated right now. And it's actually a really important number because it's going to help us assess the metrics and the veracity of this deal overall. The second thing I'm really focused on is the politics of all of this. And that is because there are a few interesting things germinating from these negotiations. And the first appears to be that we will accept a baseline level of tariffs. And that's not exactly something I would say that the Canadian public has been primed for by the Prime Minister. He talked a lot about getting the best deal compared to other deals, but the other deals are not great. So if ours is not great, but not the worst, is that enough to land with Canadians who haven't really been primed for the possibility that it might not be that great of a deal at all? I think that's really a challenge for the Prime Minister when the mood of the public, as public opinion polling shows, is so much geared to not wanting to concede more to the president, to stand up to the president. How is he going to kind of reconcile those things if, in fact, the deal appears to be what it is and there is a baseline level of tariffs that remain? That's a big political vulnerability for him moving forward. Vashi Capellas, CTV News, Ottawa.
A community in British Columbia is losing hundreds of forestry jobs when its pulp mill closes down. Company officials are blaming reduced demand and poor prices, but workers are fairly certain American tariffs and trade uncertainty have played a part as well. With more, here's Andrew Johnson.
On a spectacular August day, a dark cloud is hanging over the future on BC's Sunshine Coast.
I can't see families staying if that is their sole base of money coming in to support their families.
Families like Andrew Appleton's.
I've got 4 kids, and I've got bills to pay, and I don't know what's going to happen after this.
Appleton's worked at the Howe Sound pulp mill near Gibson's for more than 2 decades. So do 400 others. They'll all be unemployed as of October.
It was a huge gut punch to everybody all at the same time, from top to bottom.
And a major blow to a town that has been tied to the mill for as long as anyone here can remember.
Every restaurant, every grocery store, every business on the Sunshine Coast is going to be impacted.
The mill's owner, Domtar, is blaming reduced demand from Asia, poor prices, and a lack of wood fiber. The industry has also taken a beating from tariffs.
This storm has been coming. We know that the tariffs aren't helping. We know that the lack of a deal isn't helping.
This is the third BC mill to announce a shutdown in just the past 8 months. The union says successive governments have failed to make bold moves to keep the industry competitive.
We don't want to see ghost towns all across British Columbia, all across the country, because the governments can't get it together and deal with the forestry situation.
In the short term, hundreds of people here will need to pivot quickly. Chris Perry's at the end of his career. He fears the resource jobs the province was built on are being forgotten.
I'm old. I'm 4 months away from retirement. I just lost my job. And you're telling me AI is the answer?
Domtar is not officially closing the pulp mill. It's calling this an indefinite idling. And the union says that's enough to keep the door open just a crack in its fight to find a way to save these jobs. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Gibson's, BC.
And Lauren Stallone's on the desk with me now, handling the forecast for us tonight. And Lauren, we've got a couple hours left of sunshine, and you should make the most of it because tomorrow and Sunday, things are changing.
That's right. We were just talking about our weekend plans, and unfortunately, if you had plans to be outdoors, you might have to change that because this weekend looks very wet and unsettled. Now, temperatures across the region ranging around normal for this time of year, comfortable, and like you said, Carlyle, we've had some nice weather sitting under an area of high pressure, comfortable temperatures, but unfortunately, that isn't going to be sticking around for much longer. So you can see here our satellite radar is tracking this low pressure system that's going to start to make its way through our region tonight, overnight into tomorrow. Now you can expect to see heavy rainfall, a chance of thunderstorms and gusty winds. We'll get to that. Temperatures dropping down tonight, comfortable around seasonal still. So if you like to sleep with the windows open, you can do that, but be aware if you hear some rumblings tonight and you're woken by some thunder, I am anticipating a risk of thunderstorms overnight into tomorrow. So again, we're going to see this low pressure system make its way through overnight tonight, early into your Saturday, and bringing with it gusty winds, heavy rainfall, and a risk of thunderstorms. Now, some areas across the region may see more severe weather than others. Now, the chance for a severe weather system is unlikely, but the possibility is never zero. You can see here the red, the yellow, and the orange. That is a risk of thunderstorms, bringing with it those gusty winds that we talked about. This is also a cold front. So following this system that's going to make its way through Saturday, it's really going to take its time moving through Saturday afternoon. You're going to notice temperatures start to drop. Now, there will be a bit of a break in the forecast, but early Sunday, that chance of showers and risk of storms will return. So keep this in mind as you're planning ahead for your weekend. Again, early in the morning on Sunday, taking its time, that risk of thunderstorms will remain throughout the region. Again, some areas may see it worse than others. I'm not anticipating a severe weather system, but definitely wet and unsettled throughout the weekend. Temperatures dropping down through your Monday. Saturday, however, that storm risk 40% in the morning, picking up to 80% in the afternoon, but temperatures around seasonal for this time of year. Let's take a look at your 7-day forecast. Again, I wish I had better news for your weekend, but unfortunately, Saturday looks very, very wet. We're going to see those thunderstorms make its way through, and then we'll see the shower chance remain for your Monday. Temperatures, however, on Sunday dropping down a bit below normal once that cold front has made its way through the region. Early next week, sunshine returns on Tuesday, and temperatures back to normal for this time of year. Our next chance for rainfall returns late next week. Same thing goes for Midwest this weekend. Pack your umbrella if you have any outdoor plans. That sunshine returns early in the week next week, and temperatures back to where they should be. So Carlyle, I'm sorry, I wish I had some better news for you, but enjoy the weekend and pack your umbrella.
Thanks very much, Lauren. Later on CTV News, a little more willing to venture south of the border. The latest travel data showing traffic picking up in both directions.
Fun fact, if you sell something on Facebook Marketplace, there is a greater than 0% chance Riley Green will come pick it up.
I'm about to list everything I own. Get all the details on the iHeartRadio Pure Country Countdown this weekend. Join us Saturday at 9 and Sunday at 4.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. The fan favorite production Beetlejuice the Musical is set to take over the Siskins the Law Firm stage at Candlelight Place from September 11th to 13th. Enter now at ctvlondon.ca for your chance to win a 4-pack of floor tickets to see the show.
New numbers show travel between Canada and the U.S. is picking back up in both directions. With more on the latest data, here's Maria Saru.
An Anne of Green Gables magnet and a souvenir mug are on the wish list for the Battaglias from Boston, spending their summer and tourism dollars on PEI.
We love the friendly people. It's just lovely here.
The political climate, we don't necessarily agree with what's happening between the States and Canada, so we'd like to support our friends up in Canada.
At the Cavendish Boardwalk, there are license plates from as far as Tennessee, with visitors getting a taste of the island. This mother and daughter from New York hope the goodwill goes both ways.
We're supporters of Canada and America, and we just hope everything can all work out for the best for everybody.
According to Statistics Canada's June numbers, more Americans are traveling north. Visits were up just over 6% from last year, marking the 5th straight month of growth. At the same time, more Canadians are going south. Return trips rose 5%, continuing a 3-month turnaround.
There's a bit of a thawing, I would say. We're more open to it. I think just a feeling that we're missing out of all these great attractions and activities in the U.S.
I want to go sometimes to New York to visit like things that we can't see where we're from.
There's lots of places that I'd love to visit in the United States. Take the girls to Disney World. That'd be a lot of fun.
Maybe beaches in California.
Others aren't convinced.
I wouldn't do it in a million years. There's no real reason to go down south at the moment.
The boardwalk here is still busy with visitors from both countries, but even as the numbers climb, Canadian travel to the U.S. is still well below 2024 levels before political and trade tensions escalated. Maria Saru, CTV News, Cavendish, Prince Edward Island.
Farmers on the Canadian prairies say they're dealing with the impact of extreme weather as harvest season gets underway. With more on the fallout from heavy rains and the expected losses, here's Alex Carpa.
In a wheat field that was heavily damaged.
Normally, John Paul and Tina Lavallee would be looking at a healthy wheat crop on this field. Instead, heavy rains and flooding have turned it into mud.
Complete loss.
Around half of their entire 3,000-acre property is damaged like this. The Lavallees say they'll try to salvage what they can, but fear this could be their worst harvest yet.
From the stuff that was underwater that receded in time for it to maybe produce something, we really don't know the quality of what it's going to be until we're harvesting it.
Too many look like this, yes.
It's much of the same for Curtis McRae, who expects to lose between 1,500 to 2,000 acres of his farmland. He says the conditions have made it the most challenging season yet.
The sooner we get harvest done, the better, because we got to look forward to next year, because this harvest isn't going to, it'll pay the bills, but that's about all it'll do.
But not all is lost. While Manitoba's Interlake region sustained significant damage, other parts of the province were not hit as hard.
Fortunately, I think that the crop that is out there that did push through in a lot of parts of the province, we're optimistic with some of the yield potentials there.
As for the Lavallees, they say some of this damage could have been avoided, blaming years of neglected infrastructure and poor drainage, which they say contributed to this destruction.
We took on more water than we should have, from breaching dikes to culverts with no traps. There's damage here that needed to be fixed previous to this.
With this year's crop for some farmers serving as a loss, the Lavallees are turning their attention to next season, hoping next year's crop will be better than this one. Alex Carper, CTV News, Clandeboye, Manitoba.
Canada's main stock index moved up today as trade talks between Canada and the U.S. continued. The TSX gained 255 points. In New York, the Dow added 518, the Nasdaq up 113. The Canadian dollar gained more than 1/10 of a cent. On commodity markets, gold added more than $100 an ounce. Oil gained 23 cents a barrel. Later on CTV News, a Canadian pitcher making his big league debut, and he's getting as much attention for his nickname as his performance.
It's Jeff, KP, and Backstage Ben in the morning.
Three awesome people that want to start your day or finish your overnight shift.
You'll laugh, you'll text, you'll call, you'll scratch your head, and maybe even beat Backstage Ben. Weekday mornings from 5:30 to 10.
Listen live on the iHeartRadio app or at 97.5 Virgin Radio.
The provincial government is banning controversial procedures on pets, which animal advocates are calling a win. That includes declawing cats and docking dog ears, but not cutting off dog tails. Karis Mapp asked Ontario Solicitor General for an explanation.
As of January 1st, it will be illegal to declaw cats, devocalize dogs, or crop their ears.
There really isn't any medical benefit to the animal for any of these procedures.
New regulations will come into effect in 2027, making Ontario the last province to implement such a ban on these surgeries.
We want people to have pets as their loved ones, as their extended members of their family, but there is a responsibility to care for them.
Pet owners may think the procedures are harmless, but they carry big consequences.
Cats use their claws for climbing, for balance, for self-defense. When they don't have their claws available to them, it can cause some behavioral issues.
While strides are being made to protect animals from the procedures, advocates say more needs to be done.
Obviously, dogs use their barking as a major form of communication to other dogs, to their human companions, etc.
And there are questions about why not all procedures were included.
If you consider both ear cropping and tail docking as cosmetic procedures, why was one included and not the other?
Tail docking, a surgical procedure that removes a portion of an animal's tail, will still be allowed in Ontario. The practice is used to meet cosmetic standards of certain dog breeds.
They are purely for human or breed aesthetics rather than any benefit or welfare for that animal.
Ontario Solicitor General explains the rationale.
We have to also listen to rural Ontario. We have to listen to people that hunt. We have to listen to our stakeholders in the four corners.
And while advocates worry that tail docking will still be allowed, they are encouraged by this step forward.
we're hoping that, again, this legislation is a first step, and it's something that the province will consider and implement, in the future.
Karis Mapp, CTV News.
A national monument for the Pride community was unveiled in Ottawa this morning. Military and public service members had brought forward a lawsuit for members who had lost their jobs through what was described as a gender or sexual minority purge. The monument has been installed just west of Parliament Hill, recognizing the roughly 9,000 people who were fired during the Cold War era. In the United Kingdom, Prince Harry and 6 others have been ordered to pay an initial $13 million to the publisher of the Daily Mail. That's a result of their failed invasion of privacy case. Today, a judge said the payment will have to be made within a week, and the group could face an additional $34 million in legal costs. They lost a high-profile court case in London last month, during which they accused Daily Mail publishers of malpractice, including illegal phone hacking. Other claimants include Elton John and Elizabeth Hurley. Monday on CTV News, the new LTC app providing access to real-time information on buses and routes. The impact for riders, Monday on CTV News at 6.
Thanks, Helen Thompson, for sending in this picture of some gorgeous purple flowers. Showers increase in coverage overnight tonight with a chance of thunderstorms. Expect a wet day Saturday as a cold front moves through, bringing heavy rainfall and gusty winds. Have a great weekend.
A mother in Ottawa is speaking out after an incident with an Uber Eats driver earlier this month. She says the man returned to her home multiple times after a delivery, dropping off treats and money for her 12-year-old daughter. Katie Griffin reports.
It was an unexpected discovery that has this mom on edge.
It's very unnerving. I have not been able to sleep.
Without her knowing, this woman's 12-year-old daughter ordered Uber Eats during a sleepover with a friend after midnight, August 3rd. She'd used her Mido card, a money app for kids to spend and learn how to budget, to open an account.
She ordered Wendy's Frosties, and the delivery driver came in, dropped it off, and then about an hour later, we got somebody was knocking on the door and rang the doorbell, and they found that there was a brown paper bag that said her name was addressed to her and said, "From your secret admirer," and it had candy in it.
They didn't know who it was from, but installed security cameras the next night. Then almost 2 weeks later, on August 16th,
we found another package that was addressed to her, and inside had candy, a $20 bill, and a note that said to her name, "From your secret admirer," with a phone number on it. And we looked at our cameras and we saw that it was an older man.
Her daughter identified him as the delivery driver and discovered the same white car had passed by their home in Canada multiple times in the overnight hours.
He asked for her number to verify it was her, and she said, "Do you really need that?" And he said, "Well, you could either give me your number or you could give me the last 4 digits." And then he also told her and her friend that they looked very mature.
In a statement, an Uber spokesperson says this behavior is unacceptable and has no place on the Uber platform. "We take reports like this extremely seriously, and as soon as it was reported, the delivery person's access to the app was removed." Ottawa police are investigating.
I think it's really important for parents to know and to talk to their kids so it doesn't happen to anybody else.
Katie Griffin, CTV News.
Several northeastern U.S. communities are cleaning up after tornadoes touched down. The twisters cut through parts of Delaware and on Long Island, New York, during storms that battered the region with heavy rains yesterday. No injuries have been reported, and weather service crews were expected on scene today to determine the strength and path of the tornadoes. A dozen researchers are making last-minute preparations ahead of an 8-month mission through the heart of the Arctic. With more on their scientific pursuit and the Canadian researcher leading the way, here's Garrett Berry.
The 26-meter-long Terra Polar Station is home for now for Quebec-born researcher Maxime Geoffroy, a scientist with the Marine Institute in St. John's. He and his team of 11 other sailors are in Norway tonight for last-minute preparations before a trip of a lifetime.
So it seems like it's going to be the start of something that is a bit nerve-breaking. In reality, I think it will be a bit of relief that finally we reached it.
Soon they'll drive their vessel deep into the Arctic ice and will drift at the mercy of the ice flows while conducting environmental research on the ice in the ocean.
In that sense, we're like astronauts that have been trained to collect data and do science for many other groups.
It'll be 8 months before Geoffroy and his team will get replaced by a second team of scientists and get to go home.
That would be first as well. So that's learning how to navigate and cope with this and do good science in this kind of environment. To me, is quite exciting.
The expedition is run by the Terra Ocean Foundation. The entirety of the boat's trip through the Arctic ice is expected to take more than a year. The journey aiming to study the place most hard hit by climate change, mapping the ice, the snow, the plankton underneath, and the gases in the sky.
The climate is kind of accelerating, climate change, and I think the Arctic is is where they have the answer of what's going to be the fate of the future.
It took many tests to ensure the crew were capable of what will be a taxing and demanding trip. They'll spend more than 4 months in polar night with very little exposure to the sun. Geoffroy says as a boy from northern Quebec, he's maybe a bit more prepared than most for the cold, the dark, and the thrill of this journey. Garrett Berry, CTV News, St. John's.
2 giant pandas celebrated their second birthday today at the Berlin Zoo. The twin sisters were given a special cake for the occasion. As they become increasingly independent, they still spend much of their time with their mother, though. It's Germany's only female giant panda. Both are still nursing, but zoo officials say one has developed a taste for bamboo and eagerly participates in medical training.
London's top stories.
We have breaking news tonight out of Ottawa. The latest in the
breaking news alerts.
I'm tracking an area of severe weather. It'll start.
And watch live.
A developing story now from City Hall where.
Download the CTV News app.
One August evening in 1962, a St. Mary's school teacher answered a knock at his door. And for the next 2 hours, he and his family were terrorized by a man with a shotgun.
Mr. Odolsky, could you tell whether the gun was loaded?
When he was here, I could not say whether it was loaded or not.
Were you actually nervous?
I was, yes, but we felt the only way to keep him calm was to be calm ourselves.
There's no use denying it. I was very frightened. He was waving this sawed-off shotgun in front of him. He mentioned that he had already killed 2 people and that if he was going to hang for it, he might as well hang for a few more, so I wasn't going to be a dead hero.
How did you manage to get rid of him?
Well, actually, he went on his own, and looking back on it now, it's rather humorous, but his final remark was the fact that he hoped he hadn't ruined the evening for us.
The gunman was arrested and served a 6-month sentence for the crime.
Finally tonight, a Canadian baseball player making his major league debut this week. He'd actually already made a bit of a name for himself, though. In fact, as Moses Woldu reports, it's his nickname that's largely already endeared him to his new team's fans.
Big sail on his big league career.
It was a night Matt Tugboat Wilkinson will never forget, making his major league debut with friends and family in attendance, and against a Cleveland Guardians team that drafted him in 2023.
You know, family and friends be able to come out, and so can't really complain about that. You know, it's kind of a cool story that I do get to have my debut here after especially being 3 years with them.
In 2015, the BC native made a name for himself at the Little League World Series, striking out 16 batters. But it's his nickname that has brought a lot of attention, too, from media outlets down south.
Tugboat's a great nickname. First time I've ever heard that.
It occurred when he was playing T-ball. It didn't move too quick around the bases, and as one of my good friends, Phil McNeil, is the one who gave him the nickname Tugboat, and he go toot-toot goes the tugboat when Matt's running around the bases. It was a comical thing.
He set sail for Okotoks at 15, playing for its academy and eventually the collegiate team.
When he showed up to the academy, the foundation was already in place.
Jeff Duda was Wilkinson's pitching coach.
What makes Tugboat so good is the fact that he throws with such conviction and such belief in every one of his pitches that it takes his stuff to a whole other level.
He became an instant fan favorite, with the Okotoks dogs claiming him as their own.
Just amazing to watch him grow and where he's gotten to, and he's achieved his goals. So it's amazing to see that.
And it shows every offseason when Wilkinson returns to train with the players.
A lot of these kids in the building right now can say that they've thrown with or next to Tugboat.
Huge inspiration. I mean, knowing that hard work pays off, and grinding for it, and eventually the good things will happen.
Wilkinson pitched just 2 innings in his debut, allowing 1 hit, no walks, and no strikeouts. There will be plenty of opportunities to start with the Giants, who are keeping him for the remainder of the season.
You want him to succeed, and for the most part in Matt's career, he's done very well and succeeded.
Moses Wildu, CTV News, Calgary.
That's it for us. Thanks for watching. For your latest local headlines, you can always head to our website. I'm back tonight with your late news at 11. Bye for now.